It's time to talk about some hard facts about what's going on with Modern Horizons 3. I know this video may not be enjoyed by everyone, but this is here to inform you and let you know how the secondary market reacts after the products are opened. So you want to know what's going on with Modern Horizons 3. The highs, the lows, and everything in between. Well, this set released just over 60 days ago. That's 2 months. That's not a lot of time, but a lot has happened that players need to be informed about. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here, and thank you again for hanging out with me on my channel. A reminder, if you enjoyed today's content, to like and subscribe to the channel. Turn on your notification bell. I do put out new content every single day. So we are catching up on what's been going on with Modern Horizons 3. The short recap from a video about a week ago is the sealed product's just not moving, so we can get past all that. Because if the sealed product's not moving, we know there's not new supply coming into the market, and whatever singles are out there are what we're dealing with. And this set, it had a lot of excitement. I'm not going to lie, and I'm not going to take that away from this product. Before you think this is going to be some crazy rant video, no. The product was amazing. The set was well received. The prices were high for most players to afford. It was just too expensive, and they couldn't afford it as much as they would have liked to have, but we're not in 2022. We don't have endless money coming in. The world has readjusted, and although this product was well received and enjoyed by players, the flame of this product, the igniter, died out really fast. Now that is a big stark contrast to what we see happening with a set like Lord of the Rings, which does seem to have that evergreen tale they talk about, because it's still selling boxes now, although very slowly, it's still moving product, where something like Modern Horizons 3, which just came out, is kind of stuck. And maybe it's because it's been tied to Commander too much, but there's a lot to go over, so let's skip that part for a moment. The singles in this set have highs and lows. You have the pre-order pricing for a product when it first gets put out there. Spoilers appear on the interweb, and now we get to look at it. Hey, I'm looking at you. You're looking at me? That card looks awesome. Are you guys going to buy that copy? I'm buying 4. I'm getting it now. I have to. Ocelot's Pride. It's going to be mine. So you get the excitement going. Now, chances are, some cards are going to go higher because they were unexpected and they just, wow. Kind of like what's happening with some of the individual talent cards from Bloomburrow. But then we get other cards we thought were going to be big wow factor that die down and don't meet expectations, and the price dwindles. Well, where are these prices now? What is happening inside this market space? Well, a lot of people would focus on the fetch lands. They would say, look at those fetch lands. Well, guess what? They are still selling. And they're selling really cheap. And they're selling across the board. And they're not doing very well. And there's no point in opening boxes of this product to get to fetch lands because they're readily available and they always have been. Yes, we needed the reprint. I'm not going to say we didn't. Honestly, I'm glad we had the reprint. It allowed myself and many other players to pick up cheaper copies, which was something that was intended by Wizards of the Coast to make more of this product readily available. But remember, it was readily available from a premium point of view, not a regular set like Khans of Tarkir, which was the last time that we ever saw fetch lands inside a standard box. Let's remember that, okay? We're not going to see it again unless it's some expedition special land or it's placed into a premium product because they know we need the cards. They know you need it for Commander. They know you need it for Modern. So this is where we are stuck. Okay? So it's not just going to be fetch lands. Look at all the amazing cards. Now the funny thing about this market for a lot of these cards I'm going to share with you today, and there's only a few of them. I just want to show some of the highs and lows. We're also going to go over some of the actual average sales listings. How many are selling per day, so you can calculate out your weeks and months and see how much of this product is actually moving, which is very interesting to actually track and follow. It took a little while, but I got some average numbers for you that are pretty close, because I don't have access to every single place, but I'm giving you guys a good, solid number to work with, so you can kind of backtrack and see how it's doing in your neighborhood. So when you're looking at these products and looking at the individual cards, when you see cards falling in price, that means somebody lost money. Because somebody on pre-order, somebody when it first released, bought a card for $50, $70, $80, $90, $20, $30. When a card drops, that's value lost. That money's gone. You got punched in the face. Chuck Norris came out of the closet and reminded you that he's Chuck Norris. Did you like that one? I got that from another channel. Do you remember that? You know that. So, When you look at that and realize you've lost a lot of money, a lot of players aren't happy about that. And this is where players have learned to be more patient, to be more conscious of their money. Not everyone, of course, but there are players out there who understand that a lot of these cards are going to drop and they wait to see how the prices will fall. How is it all going to lay out? Because we know there's ceilings and we know there's lows for standard products, knowing they're going to be reprinted within that 3 to 5 year mark, sometimes faster, sometimes slower. And I'll be honest, it looks like Wizards is in a slowdown phase of their overall reprinting strategy to try to retain value in the IP of these single cards. And that, of course, is something you need to be aware of. It means you could buy the card, enjoy it for a longer period of time before thinking of reselling it back into the market if you're a person who's trying to hop ahead of the wheel to make sure you don't get crushed with the loss of price. Okay? So with all that in mind, looking at a product like Modern Horizons 3, which has dozens of cards, you have the regular versions, borderless version, whatever. There's so many different versions now, none of us can track it. And now we get to look at the cards, look at the prices, and understand where we're going. So let me show you this, okay? Let's jump over to this first card. And this is Ugin's Labyrinth. This thing right now falls in at $34. Now, before you start running around, what do you think this thing was? How many do you think it's selling right now? Well, to save you guys some time, and yes, you can see this thing was around the $100 mark. This thing had an all-time high of $110, okay? And right now, it's averaging only 9 sales per day. Well, that's not nearly enough demand to keep a card price inflated. Now, there will be speculators in those 9 cards. Remember that. There could be a person buying 2 or 3 copies every couple of days, building up an inventory, expecting this card to eventually spike to some higher level and getting it while it's low, because really, this is 3 times X lower than it used to be. This is 34, 2x, 3x, whatever. You guys get where my math is going. If you times it by 3, this thing would be at like $102. We'd be right where we're being here. So keep that in mind, okay? There are going to be speculators in this market who will be preying on these lows, hoping to come out ahead. But the person who paid $110, they got smashed in the face. Now, let's check out our next card. This is Emrakul, The World Anew. Do you remember the hype that followed this card? Well, it's $19.30 right now. Now, of course, we now want to know exactly, Moxman, how many is it selling? Well, as you can see, the all-time high is $92.23, and it does average 20 sales a day. And when I looked into this and checked the numbers, and with local stores saw an average sale of 1 per week out of all the stores I checked. And of course, when I looked online and followed the tracking of sales, it looks like it's about 20 copies a day. So people are taking advantage of the lower price, but the fact this thing was $92, and I know people who bought it, I think I bought mine at 40. So I bought mine on the falling knife, but I'm still losing now because it's less than 20 bucks. So keep that in mind. You have to be comfortable with the fact that this could lose a lot of money, okay? Now, for our next card, let's take a look at Ocelot's Pride. Now, this one started really low, remember? Nobody cared about it. It's like a $15, $16 card. But look what happened afterwards. If you take a look today, this card is now at $62.36, which is interesting because it's one of the cards that went up in price, but it has not gone to some insane level. Right now it's averaging $47.77. So from the all-time high to where it is now, it's still averaging 22 copies sold per day. Now that's interesting because if you added that into a 10-day time period, that's 220 copies. 220 copies extrapolated out over the course of multiple months. That'd be a lot of copies of this particular card. And it makes you wonder how many are really out there. So a longer term view of how many average sales will go, this is only a 60-day takeout. I would need to see 120 to 200 days. And I bet you that average will drop tremendously over that period of time because the people who needed this card have already bought it. And that means there's not going to be any strain on supply, which means the price cannot go up. Okay? Now, let's take a look at our next card. This is Ulamog the Defiler. Everyone I knew bought this card. They paid the $60 and they were happy to do so. They saw tremendous things for this card in the future. And again, I want to reiterate to everyone, the prices can flip around on a dime. Things can change every single day. Now, if you're looking at the current sales listings, well, this thing had an all-time high of $109.99, but the average sales per day is 11. Okay, so at 35 bucks, it's still selling 11 a day, which is $350 a day in total sales volume. That's still not bad, but I understand it's not some tremendous, amazing thing. Now, that of course is just a sampling of the cards. If you took a look at Urza's Cave, an amazing card from this set that everyone was buying at $10, it's averaging $1.50 on TCG Player right now, up to $1.80. And there are vendors out there selling 30, 40, 50 copies at a time. So if you're a person who was waiting and was patient, you'll get your 4 copies for less than $10 right now. And you'll own them and they'll be done. And if they come around again, if they spike, if some other card is made that connects to that cave to make it more lethal, of course that spike is going to happen. It should be expected. And if you're a person in a position to pick up a few extra copies, you're going to come out ahead. And that's what it's all about when it comes to flipping in this market, not just owning the card. Owning the card is one aspect if you want to enjoy the card. But for players who don't want to pay for their own cards, they will flip in this market. They will buy, sell, and flip up to a higher echelon card, eventually to legacy cards like the reserve list cards that can't be reprinted. Now, again, as you go along and you look at a product like Modern Horizons 3, which here in Canada is around $549 Canadian a box, which brings it just over $600 with tax. And in the US, you're looking at around, what, $400 US? And that's why that product is no longer selling. The players who wanted it bought it. The whales who could afford to buy endless boxes, well, they've had their fill, they had their sampling, they've tasted it, and the cheese stands alone. They don't care anymore. So they're leaving it on the shelves, and this is where vendors got smart and didn't order nearly as much product that would clutter up their shelves and cost them tens of thousands of dollars in backstock. They ordered what they needed. Now, does this mean there will be a supply chain issue later? There could be for some individual cards, but it is less likely to happen because the cards are readily available on the market. Nothing is causing this product to spike right now because of interest in other upcoming products and secret layers. So if there's no demand and there's no supply issue, the price can't go anywhere. And if the random packs that are getting opened at stores, because packs still get opened, when those packs get opened, there's a trickling effect of individual cards slowly being added to the supply chain that can't be absorbed. They can't be taken away from the market because nobody's buying them. Again, there's no shifting in prices. And that's what puts the downward pressure on a lot of these cards, which will show you the lower prices we get to enjoy for the players who are buying. There may not be many of us out there, but there are enough players out there who are enjoying these lower prices and those few speculators hitting the market now, hoping it's going to rebound. And it is gambling. This is a form of gambling. Okay, if Wizards prints an amazing card, it spikes, you come out ahead. If they don't print some amazing card, or they print even better cards, your card goes down. You're taking a chance one way or the other like anything else. It's not a solid blue chip stock card like the reserve list. Remember that. And again, even the reserve list has a fine-tuned amount that are actually truly playable, amazing cards. And then there's hundreds of cards on the reserve list that are just fun fodder that people collect for enjoyment, okay? Collectors are collectors. They're going to do what they're going to do, myself included. So I hope you guys found this video informative. I hope you enjoyed hanging out. These are the facts as we see them right now, and I look forward to reading your comments in the comment section. So thanks a lot for tuning into my channel. I hope you enjoyed yourselves, and of course, we'll see you tomorrow for a top 10 video followed by maybe another top 10 video. If you've been around for a while, you'll be surprised. Now, if you've been on my channel for a while and you're one of my patrons or a YouTube membership member or just one of my regular viewers, let's remember the people on this here passing by you right now. These are the patrons, the YouTube membership members who support this channel. Because of them, I put forth as much effort as I possibly can to give original content to you every single day. Whether you like it or not, this content's coming. So thanks again, guys. I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow, of course, for another video. Welcome back to the Ramble Jamble. How did Wizards of the Coast... Hold on. You're right. I'm ahead of myself. I apologize. Let me wet the beak with some coffee. I'm still half full. I'm doing pretty good today. I don't know how Wizards of the Coast, which is why I put this in the thumbnail, how Wizards of the Coast can expect players to believe in the pricing of the product if nothing supports the product. For Wizards of the Coast to truly have success in the secondary market, it's still my opinion they either expand the reserve list or they've got to make these cards harder to find. Ugin's Labyrinth, instead of being found as often as it is, cut that down to 1/100th. Make it a hard, sought-after card. It doesn't have to be Ugin's Labyrinth. I'm using that as the example. Emrakul World Anew. Alter the card a bit. Make it super hard to get. Make people chase the boxes. This is something they were hoping to do with serialized cards, but completely failed in that respect because the artwork's not different. It's just a number printed on a card. It does nothing for the collector inside of us, okay? But at the same time, here's the thing. If I take a card off the reserve list like Juzam Djinn, not played anymore except for old school, but that card will still be sought after because it's an old school monster iconic piece, okay? It's truly hard to get. 20,500 copies printed. All these cards today, so many copies printed, there's no point. We want original cards that are hard to get, so when somebody sees you playing with it, like, oh my god, how did you get that card? How much did you pay? And then that player has a story to tell. I got it in a pack. I had to pay $400 to get it. I don't care. I don't care. If you need this company to be successful, they have to alter their game plan because the value of this product tanked. Yes, some cards will recover. I get it, guys. I get it. Some cards will recover. But overall, it never does the same way. You could never get your money out. When I did my Bloomborough box opening, I think I did pretty good. But let's remember, that $130, whatever, $160, whatever value I had there, you got to cut it in half if I went for cash. It'd be $80. Half my money back on a brand new product. That's like opening a board game, taking it back to the store, and they say, sorry, you only get 50 cents on the dollar. And you're like, what? It's like a car dealership, right? Wizards, fix it! There, my rant's done. I feel better, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Ramble Jamble.